Hi, I'm Julian Frommel with Regan, Mandryk, and Madison Klarkowski. We present our perspective on play about challenges to combating toxicity and harassment in multiplayer games. Many people play online multiplayer games, which is often great, for example, by supporting relatedness and well-being. But multiplayer games are sadly also a platform where negative behaviors happen. Toxic behaviors, hate, and harassment are a reality of many multiplayer games. In recent surveys, 83% of adult gamers reported that they experienced harassment in multiplayer games. This is of course problematic, for example, because it can lead to distress for those targeted by toxicity. So we know that toxicity is a huge threat to the safety and health of players and game communities. However, toxicity still remains a problem. So why is that? We argue that we have to overcome four challenges to combat toxicity in gaming spaces. First, toxicity is normalized in gaming communities and leads to more toxicity. In our prior work, we found that many players do not report toxic content because they think it is acceptable or typical of games. So we argue that we have to do something to break the cycle and combat normalization. Second, subjectivity is a problem. People perceive different things as toxic, and individual factors are important, like online disinhibition, game expertise, or identity. If we cannot agree on what is acceptable and what is not, how can we enforce this? We argue that we need better measures like validated questionnaires and diverse datasets from people with varying individual traits. Third, we need more accessible and effective tools to detect toxic behavior. Despite the promising results in academia and industry, current approaches still have many limitations. This includes subjectivity and the game's context where kill may be a commonly used and harmless word. And this includes common problems like privacy, where toxicity can happen in private messages that we would need to monitor. And this is a challenge because in the end, it's up to the game developers that have to enforce things. We argue that we need more accessible and effective tools to predict toxicity. Fourth, we argued that there are not enough tools to support people who experience or witness toxicity. In our prior work, we designed prototypes for in-game support mechanisms and found that interventions can be useful when they provide positive emotions and feelings of control. We argue that we need more such tools. Aside from presenting these challenges, our talk also aims to call HCI Games researchers to their rescue. We think that our community can help combat toxicity in many ways, for example by studying reasons for toxicity or by designing and evaluating interventions, design frictions, or tools. To close, I want to thank Elizabeth Reed and Nicole Barris, who did most of the prior work that kickstarted this talk. And then I hope that this is a good reminder that we need to do more to combat toxicity in games. There are many challenges, but it's worth it if we can make games safe spaces for everyone.